Then I can't talk to you because you're an idiot. You're not very smart.
I'm retired Air Force, Sean.
I'm a retired Air Force, Sean, says the caller that Sean Hannity essentially called stupid. And Sean Hannity seemed to melt down actually after one of his radio callers just had some feedback on the war against Iran. And it was feedback, some thoughts, some analysis that apparently goes against Sean Hannity's magical thinking. And so Hannity got triggered as soon as the caller described the war as an endless war. Take a look.
I would like to take a little bit of an issue regarding all the endless wars, okay? Now look.
There is no endless war. What's the endless war?
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get at. Whether it's a short-term war or a long-term war, we're still fighting a war in the Middle East, trying to nation build. We're trying to tell.
We're not trying to nation build. That's not part of the president's goal.
Okay, well then why do you take out so-called dictators or leaders in another nation, but they won't comply with what the U.S. wants?
Remember, this has been a joint military effort with the Israelis. The Israelis are the ones that took out the tiers of leadership there. America's goal has been very clear that they can't have nuclear weapons. That has been the number one, number two, number three goal of the president.
I wish I could have been part of that conversation, but obviously I wasn't. But we might actually not have any interest in nation building per se, meaning, destroying the country and then trying to like form a new government and all of that. I think we probably will stay out of that. We're just trying to destroy the country. And when it comes to endless wars, there is absolutely no question that this is gonna last longer than what Trump is trying to sell to the American people. And more importantly, you're talking about the nuclear weapons. I'm not worried about, no one's worried about Iran's nuclear weapons. No one's genuinely worried about Iran's nuclear weapons. It's all a farce, it's all a lie. Okay, Israel wants regime change or a failed state. And that's what this is really about. But we're gonna keep like pretending like this is about Iran being a threat. So there's a very real chance that Trump is gonna send American service members into Iran to try to get the enriched uranium, which is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But he might literally risk their lives to do this. Now, is the United States genuinely worried about Iran attacking us? I don't think so. But Israel is. So if Israel wants the enriched uranium, send the IDF soldiers to do it. Why are we sending our soldiers to do it? It makes no sense at all. But before I go to the rest of Hannity's meltdown over a veteran, an Air Force veteran who I would venture to say knows more about war than Hannity does as a helmet head talking head over at Fox News, I wanna know what you think, Waz.
The dismissiveness kind of struck me. The way he's just like, well, we're not doing nation building. Yeah, because we don't do nation building anymore. We just destroy. We don't bother with the rebuilding part. We just, the Israelis have established a new way of warfare, which is just flatten the place, just ruin everything, just bomb hospitals, bomb colleges and schools, bomb schoolgirls, bomb paramedics, like break every single rule in terms of the rules of engagement, and just ask questions later as if that's somehow, to me, that's even worse than what we did in Iraq.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan. Because say what you will about Cheney and Rumsfeld and all of these guys, they had a vision that they were gonna build some capitalist utopia out in the Middle East and have these institutions just have none of the red tape that we deal with in terms of regulatory agencies and those little tripwires that we have here in America. Their vision was to do something more capitalist utopic out in the Middle East. They were wrong, they were stupid. Millions of people died, millions more were displaced behind it. But you can say like what they were trying to do had some, level of high-mindedness to it. What these guys are on, and I don't get it. I just don't.
What do you think?
It seems like destruction for destruction's sake.
Okay, at the risk of making this go too long, but you brought something up that kind of made me think about the Obama administration and what was done to Syria. So Obama decides to arm Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra, these terrorist groups within Syria, in order to try to topple Bashar al-Assad. And that led to a failed state in Syria. Syria is a disaster, and it's literally being led by a so-called former Al-Qaeda terrorist as we speak. I mean, you have Christians, Druze, you have all sorts of people getting slaughtered by the, basically by the current government of Syria. So I guess Obama, to some extent, is even worse than what we got.
It's in the same vein though, Anna, because the option of just leaving these folks alone can never be on the table. Yeah. So what are your options then? It's in Iraq where you put a bunch of American troops on the ground, you occupy the place for 20 years, you spend trillions of dollars, and then the second that you leave, it was all literally for no reason. There's that. There's the bombing campaigns like we're seeing now in Iran.
Well,
or there's the one that's close to what they did in Syria when you see them floating we're gonna arm the Kurds. So there's that third option where we just arm proxies and cross our fingers.
I know. So here's how Hannity, proceeded to browbeat his own caller for questioning the war and its goals.
The president ascertained with 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, which could be weapons grade in less than 2 weeks. Coupled with what we now know is they have longer range ballistic missiles than we thought, that was an existential threat to the world and to the US, and he was not willing to allow that threat to grow.
Okay.
That's what this is about. When that is neutralized, the president will leave. And we're on the verge of that happening, and you should be happy. That's not a forever war. Was it a forever war when he defeated the ISIS caliphate, or did he do the right thing?
Okay, Sean,
Answer my question. Was it right for the president to beat the ISIS caliphate?
No, it was not. Here's the point.
Well, then I can't talk to you because you're an idiot. You're not very smart.
I'm retired Air Force, Sean.
For our members only bonus episode today, we will continue the conversation, show you one more clip from that whole exchange and what Hannity had to say to his producer. tyt.com/join to become a member.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.